you go.
Recording in progress.
Our friend.
I ran into that yesterday when I did the symposium that I actually talked about with you weeks ago. They kept recording and it kept saying recording in progress, as if, I guess, I mean, it's going to record whether we click on it or not, I'm assuming.
I think just for legal reasons, they want people to know that it's
Right.
being recorded. So, well, thank you everyone for joining us today as we commemorate our 1-year anniversary. Tiffany and I have been doing this for 1 year, coming to you all, part of this community every Friday. So we are so excited to have everyone joining us today. And I want to use the word celebrate in a very careful way, because of the reason why Tiffany and I came together for this series was not a pleasant reason, but we are here to commemorate the hard work, and for our community. You all show up with us every week. You all engage with us every time, as much as you can, on social media. So this is as much of an important event for us as it is for you all too. So thank you for growing with us, for being a part of this community and really helping us learn and grow. I think I can speak for Tiffany. We learn so much from you all. So it is just as important for us too. So thank you for being part of our community. Tiffany, anything you want to add before we share a video that Tiffany and I put together with the help of my son, who's on here as well?
Yes, shout out to Vishal. He did a great job and we learned some stuff in the process too. And we're excited that he's part of the community and obviously part of Suman's family. So we wish him well in all his endeavors. He's rocking it already. Thank you. And just thanks everyone on Team Live, Team Replay, right now in this moment as we commemorate, but also for all the times you've been here across this year, whether it's your first time today or longer. We're super excited, and I'm going to try not to cry today, but this is great. And thanks for being here and supporting us.
Absolutely. So without further ado, I'm going to share, if I can, a video.
Welcome to the commemoration of our first anniversary of continuing the Race Conversation series. I'm 𝗖𝗢𝗠𝗘𝗠𝗢𝗏, CEO of 𝗬𝗚𝗏 Solutions, and I'm joined here with my dear friend and co-host, Tiffany Castagne, CEO of Separate LLC. It has been a long year full of emotions and difficult conversations. Thank you to our community and our guests for joining us. So Tiffany, can you share with our community why we started continuing the Race Conversation series?
Yes, thanks for that awesome intro, Susan. So we were just checking in on each other after the George Floyd murder. And in our discussion, we talked about how difficult it's going to be for people to have these conversations when they're going to work, feeling like they're put on a different cell, or not having their employers acknowledge their external environment. We wanted to be able to equip people with tools, be able to have these difficult conversations on race. Thus, the series was born as a way of creating a safe space for people to come, talk, and learn about issues surrounding race. Our series has grown organically from just the two of us having our conversations, difficult conversations in the workplace, to now having guest speakers and a variety of subtopics and talk around these conversations. So it's been an amazing journey. So can you share with us what inspired us to open this conversation to anyone who's willing to support?
Yeah, absolutely. So we all know change cannot happen with only like-minded people. We need those different perspectives to make for deeper dialogue and understanding. So in the spirit of inclusiveness, and with both sharing the value of community, that was an easy sell. So there's no other way we would have had it but to have our community join us.
Thank you to 𝗖𝗢𝗠𝗠𝗘𝗠𝗢𝗥 for being an integral part of our community and for featuring us in the Project Raise of Sunshine article. Thank you, Sarah, for this opportunity. We hope to continue the conversations and continue growing the community, touching more lives and continue to be a safe space for people to gather to discuss tough issues. This may be the only place that we can do so in a judgment-free, inclusive, empathetic space.
Our group is very diverse, and even though there are different viewpoints, that's what diversity, equity, and inclusion is. Taking into account all viewpoints and all of our uniqueness and celebrating the differences versus only focusing on them as a barrier. So thank you for being part of the race conversation.
Thank you, everyone, for being here. I'm still trying to like fight back tears. Seriously.
Seriously, watching that just was like, if you see how many guest speakers we've had and how our community has grown, it's pretty emotional. I mean, I'm trying really hard not to cry. Y'all know I can cry. So, I mean, we've had so great to see 𝗖𝗢𝗑 here. I got to give him an extra shout out. He was one of our first guests. He came week after week after week and just hung out with us. It would be the three of us having conversations and recording, and he's definitely part of our start. And 𝗖𝗢𝗑, it's so great to see you. Thank you for joining us. He has gone on his own journey. He is busy. He was our first international guest. I mean, he got us international status right from day one. So
yeah, everyone, it's a pleasure to be here, and yeah, it's been a fantastic experience. I mean, it has been so nice to see the community growing and all the different conversations developing. So thank you to you two, actually.
thank you. And of course, it's great to see everyone here who comes as often, all the time. I mean, we've got people who come every week on here with us today. We have new faces and new friends joining us today. We are so grateful for that. There aren't enough thank yous for you all. I mean, you all have made this such a safe, wonderful community. We've had a lot of vulnerable moments. We've had a lot of difficult conversations. There have been several conversations that have been taken offline. I know Tiffany and I have had conversations with audience members and guests offline to continue those difficult conversations. I am forever grateful to this community and to Tiffany. If there was anything anyone wanted to share, Elizabeth Hall, you all know, she joins us often. Unfortunately, she was not able to make it here today, but she did ask me to read something. And she said, just let me say, you have done a tremendous job over the past year. I have found the discussions at times uplifting, frustrating, emotional, enlightening, and through all the emotions, you two have been steering the boat with calm, gentle, and firm hands. Thank you both for what you have done for all of our communities and personal growth. So Elizabeth, we thank you for being part of our community and for really sharing a lot of your insights, and especially on those political conversations. So thank you to Elizabeth for being part of our community. And then we wanted to open it up if anyone had things that they'd like to share. Would be great to hear if anyone wanted to.
Well, I don't want to start with something bad, but it was a very tough week in my province in Canada. You probably heard it, national news. A young 21-year-old man targeted with his car a Muslim family. He killed 4 members and only the youngest boy survived. I'm just curious as to how a 20-year-old got radicalized and really wasted his life. that's a waste of 20 years. So I just wanted to ask if we can hold a space, a bit of a prayer for this family. And also in the last week in Canada, a mass grave of Indigenous children's graves were uncovered. 215 children in a school in Western Canada, and still the Catholic Church refuses to apologize. So those are the things that are currently going on in Canada.
Thanks for that acknowledgement, Roz, and for sharing that. I think one common theme across this series, and Sue and I are very passionate about that acknowledgement and making sure everyone is seen, heard, and valued. So thank you for sharing that. Even though it's not great news, it's good to talk about so that we can continue the path forward. And I just wanted to share too, Tom put a shout out to Elizabeth. So after Suman acknowledged that wonderfulness that Elizabeth honored us with, Tom said that she is a class act, and I have to agree. So we miss her today and everyone else who can't join live, but what other reflections do you all have? Tell us how you feel about the series, what's been going on the past year, how it's impacted you. I think that, I'd love to open up some conversation there.
It's really inspirational. I just say, it's inspirational. I had an encounter it's usually about one racist troll per week. And I decided this time, in the spirit of 𝗖𝗢𝗠𝗪𝗔𝗥, don't label me, to not join with everyone else in the comments and go, you a-hole, you this, you this. And I just said, I am so sorry you've chosen this way. And I said, I wish you would figure out why you're posting this, and really choose a more life-affirming path.
Thanks, Roz. And I missed too, I don't know if it was Frank or Daniele, but whoever was about to share, please feel free. Or if it was someone else.
Well, I was starting to, I mean, when I first came into this group, I'm guessing it was probably early on. Great speakers. I've learned so much. I have reframed a lot of the ways that I look at the world and a lot of the ways that I actually do my trainings, because of having been here as much as I can be, and some of your guest speakers, just the way that they talked about these issues and brought in new perspectives and ways of looking at it. It was just very potent. So, and I got that right away from the first time I came here. And I don't want to share, if there's an opportunity, I can share about the event that I talked about several weeks ago, working with law enforcement. That happened yesterday. And so at some point, if you want, I can tell you what my report, as it will, but not necessarily now, because I don't think that's where we're going. We're acknowledging the fact that this is an amazing group, an amazing thing you're doing, and for having the tenacity to do this every week for a year, that's also no small feat, I can tell you.
Thank you. It definitely hasn't, but it's worth it, and it fills Suman and I's cup. You've heard us say it over and over again, and that is 100% from the bottom of our heart. Thanks for sharing. Thank you in the chat. I just want to read this. I would like to say that this series has helped me learn how to better amplify BIPOC voices and perspectives on social media. So thank you for that as well. And I'm so grateful for you all. We all are, and someone says they've started focusing on reading more Black novelists, and they're glad about that. And thank you so much. I knew Roz was gonna cheer. She is a huge proponent of that, and she will tell you all day. So just thank you. Anyone else wanna share their reflections?
I just wanna say that it's incredibly valuable for you guys to have created this space for these conversations. the topics are obviously so deep and so difficult for so many people out there that they become very afraid to have any conversations because they don't either know how to approach it. They may not have been thinking about it in depth. They may not have cared. And so at the end of the day, without these spaces to have the conversation, it won't go anywhere and it will just stay mired in muck. So you're elevating the game, no doubt about it.
Thank you, friend. And thanks for those beautiful Hawaiian noises. It's like one of the noise machines, but in real life. I love it. Other reflections?
And if there are no other reflections, that's not to stop anyone from talking. I see Frank actually taking his mask off, so maybe we shall turn to Frank.
Hi, everybody. I'm at work, so I just have to, a quick second, but I just wanted to say thank you, everybody, for, this group. It's really appreciated. And it's really nice to have a platform where we can speak our minds and talk about things that are, bothering us or things that we feel we want to just get off our chest and see how they resonate with everybody else. Because at the end of the day, I think all of our topics resonate with each other because at the heart of the matter, they're all about human topics, about human behavior and how we interact with each other. So I just want to say thank you, ladies, and everybody who else has contributed for this great outlet. That's about it. Thanks.
Sorry, I thought I was muted. My typing's going. But thank you, Frank, for your shining example of that. And you always say, what does everybody think about this topic? And you're always kind of leading the charge there. So we really appreciate that. It's important to hear all perspectives, and you've been a shining light in that way, and we appreciate you. Not to put you on the spot, Daniele, but I guess that's what I'm doing. Do you have any words that you would like to share, considering for a while it was you, me, and Suman hanging out every single week?
Absolutely, even because, we first started mainly the three of us, and it was like basically a customized Q&A session where I was there asking things, and it was really more about, race in HR and topics and theoretical things or hypothetical situation. And then as we moved onwards, we become to talk about things that were actually happening, and we shifted towards, real, things that were really in touch with the reality, and there were a lot of emotion involved. And well, I can say that it came this involvement with the series. It came in a particular moment in my life, and I have to say that it was really a developing experience. So it was both personal but also professional. It was a combination of many different aspects, and I had the chance to really understand what was going on also in other parts of the world, because the situation that we talk about were a little bit different compared to Italy. So yeah, it was a great experience, and you did an amazing job with all the guests, and yeah, so thank you very much for that.
Thanks, Daniele, for sharing that. We've loved having you as a part of the series. I was so happy to see you back today. I know that you're super busy, enjoying this next journey of your life, and it's just, Sue and I just are so happy to watch your journey, and it's been exciting to be a part of that, have you to be a part of this community. And yeah, just thanks for your thought partnership and ideas, that you gave us in the very beginning, and giving us those questions that we could share with employers and the community to talk about these difficult conversations right at the very beginning, and for showing up every week. It's truly admirable. I want to share too from the chat, someone can't join on video, but they're saying that they appreciate the space of encouraging to learn and share and hear honest conversations that people are thinking but rarely speak. Most of all, they've learned about themselves and what's important to them around these conversations around race. That learning is so key. That's what we're here for, and we're here to lean on each other. And as a community, I'm so proud that people have just, not only just you're here every single week, but it's never about us. And we've always said that, and now I'm probably gonna cry, but the piece that touches me the most is how you've all rallied around each other and just supported each other consistently, how you've connected. That is the definition of community. And I'm gonna stop now so I can not have mascara all over my face. And I made Suman cry too. Sorry, girl.
I'll get you for this, I'll tell you that. One way, I will.
Okay, I'm gonna distract by reading from the chat in my teary voice. And thank you all, and thank you for this message too. I found this group at a time when I was really needing community and realizing the people around me were uncomfortable with having these conversations. That is the nemesis, the genesis, I should say, not the nemesis, of why we started this conversation and this community. And so they said people who around them were uncomfortable having these conversations and being vulnerable. So thankful to find a group that gives that space. We are honored that you spend that space with us. Thank you so much. The love that pours out from this community is just next to none. It fills us up, as I said. Does anyone else have any reflections or thoughts or a topic that you want to share? Oh, wait, we got one more from the chat. I'm fortunate to have a lot of these people in my life where I can have these conversations. This group for me has been an opportunity to find new perspectives and learn about others' experiences. Also so true to our mission. Thank you all for sharing this. It's beautiful. It's not about the ego and the ego stroke. It's about what we're doing together as a community to build and to continue shaking up things and making the change that's very, very needed.
And it's so interesting, Tiffany, I know you and I have talked about this. I look forward to this group every Friday as a place where I know it's a cliche, but where I can come as myself, right? Where I can just let all my guard down, where I can share my anger, my frustrations, my happiness, whatever is happening, whatever I'm experiencing, I can come to this space. And while it's kudos to you and I for creating the space, the kudos goes to each member of this community for coming with the open-mindedness, with being non-judgmental, with coming to want to learn with the goal of taking information back to their communities, to question things that don't feel right, and how do we tackle those things that don't feel right, where we come and have those conversations. So while you and I might have started this, it really is a thank you to every member of our community, whether they're here live or on replay, because you all show up with us and have created this space where each one of us can come here and learn and share and cry and laugh, whatever the situation is. And so thank you all for making this a safe space for us to come together every Friday. I'm gonna stop before I cry again.
Tom, you're off mute. Did you want to share? And I see Linda's off mute, so I'm handing over the floor to you two.
So I wrote that, but I'm kind of curious where you would like to see, and you being collective, everybody on the screen, where would you like to see this weekly, hour go in the next year? What are there areas? I mean, it started with one focus. The ones I've attended have been a variety of focuses, which has been great. What would you like to see this evolve into or mature into over the next year? Anybody?
Great question. Great question, Tom. Thank you for asking that question. because again, this is our community, right? We take a lot of lead from conversations that are happening. I know that we are having two guest speakers, so we're gonna have some guest speakers back again. Tiffany can chat a little bit about that. And then our community connects will always continue. But if you all have any thoughts, ideas, suggestions, what you would like to see more of, less of, thought, ideas, please do share with us.
If I can add a few words here, as I've been listening to everyone, and as I've been sort of looking at the big geopolitical situation that is happening over the world and that continues to repeat itself, you know, I'm never unfortunately never surprised at how inhumane man can be to their fellow man. It just never ceases to amaze me. And this is a wonderful little beacon of safety and of warmth and of acceptance, whatever it is that you're needing or wanting. It's just a lovely space. And getting to Thomas's comment, what would you like to see? I would like to see this conversational group scale. I would love to see this group spread out, you know, throughout this country, you know, and then beyond, because these are the types of conversations that need to be had. And it's very, very timely. So that's my 2 cents. I think the world needs these conversations. And so I think the opportunity is to scale this puppy and, you know, bring it to a wider audience, engage more people.
Powerful. Thank you so much. And we always welcome your ideas and thoughts. And thank you, Tom, for that powerful question and getting us started. And we have seen this community evolve much beyond what Suman and I ever even dreamed was possible. So we're loving these ideas. Keep them coming, whether you send us an email, a DM on LinkedIn, text us, whatever that looks like. Absolutely love it. And I appreciate, you know, in the chat too, I absolutely like knowing more about what is happening internationally in reference to the topics we discuss. And that has been a pinnacle. And I feel like something that makes our group very unique as well. We're represented in 4 different countries, which are, we have Canada, Italy, with Daniela here. We have Frank, who's here today, in España, and we have Africa. And Tamara couldn't be here today. I'm giving that girl a high shout out. She is one of the most high beacons of light that you will ever meet, and she's very supportive, always on team replay because of the time doesn't work for her, but she was very much looking forward to today's conversation as well. Just thank you all for all that you share, and just imagine what we can do together. The power of the whole is better than the power of one, and so thank you. And Tom, yes, you can all commit to proactively recruiting 1 new member. We're always saying this is not an exclusive community. Come one, come all, come as you are. It doesn't matter what faith you are, what religion, whether you're a white person or a brown person, it does not matter. Come as you are. We love having you all in this space in whatever way that you identify. So yes, well, I think we should take Tom up on his challenge. And we've always said, if you know someone who would benefit from this, I'll pop the link in the chat to join. It's the same link every week. Please have them join. We've had people's children join. We've had business partners, Nikolai and Alex, join from the same room or separately. We have Vishal here, who's Suman's son. We have, my husband has joined the series at times. So definitely bring anyone in who you feel like can help us make the change that is needed.
And we got to give a shout out to Scotland is here too. So we're being represented there too.
Yes, thank you, Anne. Thank you. We are. See, brand new. See, we're continuing to evolve and grow, and thank you. And Anne has been, I think I put it in the chat. Maybe I'm getting lost in my emotions and have said it already live here from verbally, but Anne has been a true champion of me personally, my business, the brand, and just a human champion. So pleased to have you here live. It's wonderful to see your beautiful face and have your spirit and presence with us. Thank you, Anne. And now I'm gonna make her cry too. And they're tears of joy. This started as tears of sadness because of the reason that we started after the Floyd murder, but what a beautiful thing to, and as I reflect, and Sue and I reflect on this often, that the completely tragic way that this community started was just she and I saying, hey girl, are you okay? Are you okay? I remember I had just started my business like 2 or 3 weeks before, and I had just met Suman, and the sad, tragic reason helped even form more of a bond than that one Zoom call we had, and we connected right away. So we're blessed to have you on this journey, and you're watching our friendship unfold live here as we continue to build a community together. So thank you, and now I'm crying again.
I really do like Tom's suggestion, and I know it's Tiffany said it, but if you all have anyone who would be interested, bring them along, you know, let them know about it. This is how we can get to the next level, like Doug was talking about. How do we get to spread this community around, get larger? I mean, Tiffany and I have a couple of thoughts and ideas. We would have at some point would love to get a community large enough where we can have breakout rooms and have more intimate conversations in those breakout rooms, you know, and have panel of guest speakers talk about a particular topic where they're bringing different perspectives or their different intersectionalities to that subject matter. We have a few thoughts as I'm sharing. We do have some thoughts and plans, but we also are hoping to grow the community a little bit more so that it becomes more interactive when we get those sort of breakout rooms and panel of guest speakers going.
I also wanted to say thank you for all the laughs. I think some of the speakers that both of you have curated to come, I have never laughed so hard, like talking about such serious topics. And I think it was just refreshing, and it was a different space than the ones that we usually occupy when we're talking about race or racial injustice or systemic oppression. And so I just really appreciated that there were times where it wasn't all sad. There was times where I was crying from laughing. And I also just appreciate the fact that there was, or continues to be, a variety of voices from different ages and different races and backgrounds that are part of the audience that continue to share their perspective, because sometimes we begin to speak and it's like a echo chamber, and we all share the same values and the same thoughts and talking points. And it's a unique space to have people from all walks of life be in this community. So those two things I'm really grateful, and they really stand out to me. So thank you.
I love that. Thank you. Thank you, Nikolai. That's awesome. And I just caught your compliment, so thank you. Appreciate you.
I also appreciate that there's no pressure to say anything, because my heart's palpitating right now just speaking. So in other meetings of any kind, I'm sitting there, I'm like, I know I'm expected to say something. I've got to think to say something. I've got to think of what I'm going to say. And then I just miss the conversation. So having that permission and people appreciating that it's okay to sit here and just take in what everybody's saying and being able to truly listen. I hope to contribute more. That's one of the reasons I started joining you guys, was to be able to speak up more. But I think getting there is a result of feeling comfortable just listening and hearing. So.
Thank you so much, Nancy. And I put in the chat too, your presence alone, your desire to learn and take back, share, as I think it was Suman, let me scroll. Yep, Suman said, no pressure at all. Just come as you are, everyone. Just come as you are, be as you are. We just appreciate it. And it's so great to hear what everyone takes out of this and what we can do together and continue building. Thank you all. Yes, shout out to the chat. Someone said the chat section is powerful. This chat is, Nikolai talked about laughing always with our guests, and I agree, like laughing in these tough topics, sometimes we laughed through tears, has been amazing. Laughter is so good for the soul, and this chat, just like, there's always laughs in the chat, so shout out to all of you for bringing those, and even people on Team Replay who share their thoughts afterwards or keep us laughing and encouraged, inspired. Just love it. Thanks for always being so engaged. That is what makes community, and it is always lit up in this chat. So we appreciate it. Tom, yes, we've heard how many times this chat is blowing up. Always, we're like, this chat is lit. We can't even keep up, but we would have it no other way. What other thoughts as we're kind of winding down on the hour? We do have like one other special item that we want to do, but what else? I definitely want to hear if anyone has any thoughts here.
I'll just be brief. The people, I hope you realize how courageous this is. There are people who have nothing to lose, who have billions of dollars, and they're going up into outer space. That's a thinly veiled comment towards you know who. I mean, just think about it. Seriously, we're moving glaciers. And every little bit counts, whether you talk or don't talk, but at least you've started that glacial move within yourself. This is huge.
Can I ask this question after the rooster? What progress or change have you actually seen in our country since George's murder? And the things that have continued since, have we seen an actual improvement yet?
I'd like to chime in there. I think I can segue with what happened with me yesterday with both comments. Moving glaciers. Some of you may know this. I think it was like 3 weeks ago. I've had difficulty getting on until now, but I was asked to speak at a seminar that was for the rural, essentially law enforcement officials, and it was like an all-day affair, Zoom, of course, and there were representatives from all over the country, Alaska, New Hampshire, whatever. And anyway, the purpose of this was to start moving a glacier, to use your analogy. And I was very impressed with these speakers. There were lots of people of color and different backgrounds in both the participants who are chiefs of police. There was a lady sheriff from near here in Virginia, Afro-American, and I was really glad and surprised to see the diversity in higher up law enforcement. That's one thing. There were 300 participants scheduled, 125, I think, somewhere in there showed up. That's kind of the way it goes with free events. A little discouraging because it would have seen more, but 125 law enforcement officials higher ups is still a pretty good group. The content was amazing. There was somebody talking about emotional intelligence. There was a feedback person. There was a whole lot of that kind of thing. The person who coordinated it is an a chief of police in a rural area. And he said, they just don't get this stuff. This stuff just doesn't happen unless somebody like us steps forward and does it. Amazed. They didn't pull any punches. The keynote speaker was basically very direct and saying their change has to happen, and this is the kind of change that needs to happen. It doesn't, you're gonna, and then the other one that I liked was the emotional intelligence guys was talking about something that we've discussed in here earlier. Suman, I think you started the conversation, but it was basically asking, why would somebody, how could somebody do what happened to George Floyd? What was going on with that person, with that police officer? And the emotional intelligence guy was talking about the amygdala and how tunnel vision, single focus, whatever happens. And he was saying, if you do not train your people to watch out for that, then you, Chief Molinar, are going to be on the 6 o'clock news, or you're going to be mentioned on the 6 o'clock news because you didn't show up. So there was that kind of direct discussion with the people involved. So I was pretty impressed. The other thing that I'll say, and then I'll end my report, is I was also very pleased that, because I was able to look, they let me come in and sit in on anything I wanted to, which was also great. Part of the benefit of that was that people mentioned certain things and certain concepts that I then did not have to fill in when I did mine. I ended the program, which I was honored to do. They already knew certain things, or at least had heard certain things, so I could focus more deeply on some of the issues. I think it was a great event. I have no idea what they're going to do, what the takeaways are going to be, but at least we talked to 125 upper law enforcement people about things that really matter. And so that's my report. And that's my, hopefully we're nudging a glacier with having done that. Okay, I'm done.
Powerful, Mark. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. That's the change, right? And now you're on the forefront of that. And I hope that you find a way to continue to move that forward, because that is, we know, we've seen that's critical work in this space. And if we can help leverage that and leverage conversations to move that forward for you even further, please leverage this community as we continue to evolve ourselves. Dwayne, were you going to say something?
I just remembered I wrote down a quote from the keynote speaker, and hopefully I can say it correctly. He said, "You cannot positively affect that which you choose to ignore." That's what he was telling these law enforcement officials. So, and that's just one quote. He had a lot of good stuff, but I mean, he was beating him up pretty much, saying, "You get with the program, people, or you're going to suffer for it." So, but there was lots of good stuff too, and I made them laugh, and I mean, it wasn't all wagging the finger at law enforcement officials, but it was definitely there were very few punches pulled when they said there has to be change. Okay, I'm done. I think I'm done now.
Thanks. That was a powerful share. Go ahead, Suman.
No, I was just going to say the fact that, what did you say, over 700 upper level police officers even signed up or were part of this group. And even the fact that 125 showed up to have this conversation in law enforcement is, I can't even think of a word to express how powerful that is, right? They, within their own community, they're looking to change and to make a positive impact. So thank you for being part of that. And thank you for being part of our community and taking information here and sharing it with that community. So thank you for that, Mark. So we are coming to the end, to the top of the hour, and we had one more thing that we wanted to share with you. So I'm going to let Tiffany take it from here.
Okay, sorry, I was popping some things in the chat for us. So in the chat, and we'll share this out on social media as well with reference to this conversation today, I have put how to register and find our group. You register once with that link, and then you can attend any and every one. We encourage you to put it on your calendar. It doesn't mean you're committed to every single week, but it means that you will know how to find us. And with one quick link, you can be right here with a click. And so on YouTube, we also have curated the content content from our guest speakers, from Subin and I starting this series and talking about our mission, as well as so any past and any future conversations will be hosted there on our YouTube channel, and that is on there as well. So as she said, we have a little other something to kind of commemorate. So as part of this community, and since it is so important, we've asked you over the last couple of weeks if there are any causes or anything that you would like to share with us, social justice, to make this type of change. So we want to honor this, and we want to be able to make a donation on behalf of the community to a social justice cause, but in the vein of equity, right? Like we're always talking about equity, and hello, I'm an HR person. I'm all about that process fairness life. So we want to make sure that we do this equitably, and we appreciate everyone who shared their thoughts on these causes. So I just want to talk a little bit about each of these causes that we have up for contribution, and then we're going to pick one in a fun little way. So bear with me here. I'm going to pull this up quickly on my end. So we have a submission for Ancient Africa Enslavement and Civil War Museum. And the description of this cause is they are located in Selma, Alabama. The museum's primary purpose is to present an informed depiction of the African-American experience that was served to unite and empower people to maximize their cultural, social, and academic development. We will put links to these in the chat as well, and or share out on LinkedIn so that people have an opportunity to check them out individually. Next up is Selma Bridge Crossing Jubilee, and they are affectionately called the Jubilee because they were founded in Selma. They're a nonprofit 501c3 org. Their commitment is to the commemoration and preservation of the spirit of the struggle for the right to vote in this country around the world. Our goal is to inspire people, their goal, of all ages and ethnic backgrounds, to respect and appreciate the power of their vote. We've certainly talked about that on this series as well. And yes, please vote, people. The Marsha P. Johnson Institute. Marsha P. Johnson was an activist, self-identified drag queen, performer, and survivor. She was a prominent figure in the Stonewall Uprising of 1969. She went by Black Marsha before settling on Marsha P. Johnson. The P stood for pay it no mind, which is what Marsha would say in response to questions about her gender. It is the consideration of who Black Marsha was that inspired the Marsha P. Johnson Institute. So much of our understanding of Marsha came from the accounts of people who did not look like her or come from the same place as her. As transness is now more accessible to the world, introducing the Institute to Black trans people who are resisting, grappling with survival, and looking for the community has become a clear need. And I think that's a topic that we can approach even more as an opportunity here on this series. Even though we talk about race, this is an inclusive community for all things DEI, and I want that to be heard loud and clear. Our next one is Equal Justice Initiative. Equal Justice Initiative is committed to ending mass incarceration and excessive punishment in the United States, to challenging racial and economic injustice, and to protecting basic human rights for the most vulnerable people in society. And our last, but certainly not least, is the We Are Project. The We Are Project box consists of items for personal reflection and group conversations around embracing differences. The hope is that the contents of the box will help foster discussions that lead to action, which will ultimately lead to parity in the business ecosystem, communities, and our workplaces. The project has 4 objectives: be the voice for change, cultivate stronger connections, provide access to capital, educate and mentor emerging women-owned businesses. Those are all things we've celebrated and talked about on this series as well. So wow, what a powerful group of different groups. And actually, I think I forgot one. I did, I'm sorry. There is one more. It's the YWCA Tri-County area, who strives to fulfill the mission of eliminating racism and empowering women through education, empowerment, and advocacy. Through their wide range of programs across the region, they provide opportunities for youth, women, families, and communities to learn, grow, and stand. We got some good stuff going on here. So in that vein, I definitely want to, let's take a spin of a wheel, shall we? All right, here they all are. Who's gonna be the winner? Oh, it's us. This whole community is a winner. Look at that. that, thank you for joining us and for your support. Suman and I actually joked about this, and what happens if it lands on us? She actually posed that question to me, and I'm like, it won't, it's the logo. Now it is, but we are all winners in this space, in this inclusive space. So we're gonna go ahead and remove this and actually give a cause so that we can donate to. 1 second. Give her a spin. Yay! We have 𝗖𝗢𝗠𝗃 Crossing Jubilee. Wonderful, wonderful. So I do want to just read quickly again. So we're going to be donating on behalf of the community to 𝗖𝗢𝗃 Crossing Jubilee. So just one more time, because I know there was a lot of different wonderful contributions of causes. I want to share with you about where we will be making this donation on behalf of the community. So the 𝗖𝗢𝗃 Crossing Jubilee was founded in Selma, Alabama. They're a 501(c)(3), I always mix up that, nonprofit organization committed to the commemoration and preservation of the spirit of the struggle for the right to vote in this country and the world. Their goal is to inspire people of all ages and ethnic backgrounds to respect and appreciate the power of their vote. And I know that I speak for Suman and probably the rest of this community that what an honor, what a gift that we get to give back to the world, not only by just being here and the powerful movement we've made together. Together is better, as we always say, but to be able to have such large scale impact now as a community to make a contribution on the right to vote. We know how dicey that gets, how political it gets. It is politics, right? And people have different viewpoints, but that is where we will be making a donation on behalf of this beautiful community. We thank you all for being here with us, not only today in this 1 year special commemoration of the community and the series, but also of each other, and for making an impact on the community in ways that you have. We are looking forward to bringing back our first guest speaker in a very long time. Next week. Her name is Dr. Tanisha King, and she is going to be talking to us about some of the change that we've been trying to make in this world and wanting to further the conversation, take this conversation to the next level. And she is just a wonderful person. Suman and I enjoyed getting to meet her. I first met her on Clubhouse and said she needs to be a part of this series. Our community would love her. So next week, June 18th, which I will say is Juneteenth Day. So if you don't know, now you know. Now that is what we're going to be honoring. I will be off for the day, but what a beautiful way to celebrate a holiday for me and for all of us. So we look forward to seeing you next Friday, June 18th at 12 p.m. EST, same time, same channel, and definitely share with friends. So Suman, what else would you like to close us out with?
Just another huge thank you to everyone for your commitment, for your passion to learn and to share, and thank you for being part of our community. I appreciate every single one of you, and I look forward to next Friday and Fridays into the future. Please get in touch with us if you have any other thoughts, ideas, suggestions. We are always open for that conversation as well. Thank you, every one of you. Appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. And I did see the question about how you can donate. So we are up against our hour, but we always send out our thank you to everyone who joined, and we will make sure that goes out to everyone who is on this invite list, which is not an exclusive group, but everyone who's ever joined or registered got an email and an invite to today. So we'll make sure everyone gets that so that you have that information should and if you want to contribute in addition as part of this community. So thank you so much to all for your beautiful hearts and minds and souls. We are so grateful, and thanks for commemorating with us. Love you to the moon and back, and thanks to my wonderful co-host who is a dear friend and I'm loving doing life and business with. So take care, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Talk soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.